Ladies and gentlemen, he is the dad to alumni JoJo and current Nico and Marshall. Here comes Brian Rosenworcel.
So it's 1 week until my in-laws make their first ever visit to Brooklyn. And I open up the kitchen pantry and there's mouse shrapnel everywhere. There's shredded wrappers, there's exploded cornmeal, and the little window screen next to it that goes to the backyard has a hole chewed through it. I don't panic. This is not my first mouse rodeo. I know what to do. I go to the hardware store and I get snap traps. Snap traps are quick, they're effective, and kids know not to touch them after they've touched them once. But they're way better than glue traps. Glue traps are pure evil. And the humane catch and release traps where you get the mouse and you're going to relocate it and you put it riding shotgun and go to Prospect Park and you're going to have a new life, and that's not evil enough. So I have a week and I'm feeling pretty good. Maybe I'm even a little cocky. I found a place in Chinatown that will repair my screen on the spot and for cheap, which is important to me because I am a frugal guy. The woman in Chinatown says, for $18, we will replace your screen. Or for $60, we will replace your screen with a special wire mesh that rodents can't chew through. And here is where I made my first mistake. Because in my mind, I'm playing this kind of warped version of Name That Tune, and I'm thinking, maybe I can resolve this mouse problem for under $25. And so I got the regular screen. The woman rang me up. She smiled at me. She looked down at her feet and muttered something in Chinese, which I'm sure translates to, "See you in a couple days, jackass." So back in Brooklyn, I'm sitting on my couch a couple days later, and I hear from the kitchen, and my adrenaline starts pumping. And I tiptoe over to the kitchen, and I flip on the light, and standing on my pantry, eating from a jar of marshmallow fluff, is a giant rat. So now we have a twist. Now the mouse is a rat, and now you know that I serve my kids fluffernutters. So for this rat, in 1 minute it's eating this jar of ambrosia, and the next minute the lights are on and it's expected to do the species-appropriate thing and leave in the presence of a taller human being. But this rat wanted better options. For a second I saw it look at the fluff, look at me, size me up and consider fighting me. And then slowly, lethargically, hop down off the pantry to the windowsill, out the new hole that it ate in my $18 screen. And on its way out, it muttered something in rat, which ironically translates to "see you in a couple days, jackass." Now, rats freak me out, and I'm like trembling, but I gather my wits, I keep it cool, I know what I have to do. I grab the jar of fluff, and I scrape off the top layer, preserving the perfect fluff beneath for sandwiches. That's too far. Okay, it's too frugal. Rewind. We're gonna go back. I sanitized the pantry and threw the fluff in the garbage, right? Yeah, that's the right thing. That's what I did. Look at that. But now blood has been shed. Now things are different because now I have to go back to the lady in Chinatown. And when I get there, she has been waiting for me. She has my $60 screen ready, set to go. There are no words spoken, there's no eye contact made. And back in Brooklyn, I make mistake number 2. I install my new rodent-proof screen and declare mission accomplished. Problem solved. This place is ready for my in-laws. And won't they be so surprised to discover that Brooklyn is a clean and livable city, not unlike the suburb in Missouri where they came from. Except that the next day, that fluff-eating rat ate a hole in my rodent-proof screen and left a pile of rat turds in my pantry. And now I'm just losing my mind. I'm way over budget. My in-laws are going to be here in 2 days, and I have a rat that apparently eats 3 square meals a day in my kitchen. So I only have one option left, and that's to go nuclear. I go back to the hardware store and I buy a rat glue trap. Now, a rat glue trap is this enormous wooden plank of suffering. But at this point, I'm not concerned with being humane anymore. In fact, I'm at the other extreme, where I would actively like to torture this rat. And if the guy at the hardware store had been like, oh, we got this new trap, what it does is castrate the rat, and it makes it wear its dick as a helmet until it bleeds to death, I think, give me 2 of those. So we're back in Brooklyn, and in my state, I get a little aggressive, and I advance into enemy territory. I go take the glue trap to the backyard and leave it on the outside brick windowsill, other side of the window. This seemed like a good idea, but will turn out to be mistake number 3. Because the next morning, I come downstairs and I hear some activity by the window. And I'm pretty excited to go claim my prize. And I go out in the backyard, and there's a robin stuck to the glue trap. Noble robin, bird of spring, righteous bird of spring, never harmed anything in its life. Says a little prayer before every worm it eats, sweet noble robin. And I go up to this bird, and as I approach it, it freaks out, but that only makes it more stuck. And my heart sinks, because I'm responsible, and this harmless, innocent creature is there, and I start feeling like, why can't I ever do anything right? And why am I always cutting corners? And at that moment, my phone rings, and it's my friend Luke, who plays bass in my band, and you guys don't know Luke, but I could best describe him as the human version of Crush, the really chill turtle from Finding Nemo. And I don't know why Luke is calling, but I need someone to talk to right now. And I say, oh, Luke, man, I had a mouse, but it was a rat, and then I got a screen, and then I got another screen, and then I got a glue trap, and now I got a robin stuck to it. And he goes, you got a robin on your glue trap, bro? Dude, bro, you gotta man up. You gotta man up, dude, bro, get a shovel. You gotta put that thing out of its misery. Dude, bro, man up, time to man up, dude, bro, get a shovel. Mistake number 4 was answering the phone when Luke called. But he's right, and I hate that he's right. I do need to man up, and I do need to take responsibility for what I created. And so I go and I get a spade, and I approach this innocent bird, and I can barely look, but I raise the spade over my head. And I take a breath, and for the first time in this entire story, I made a good decision. I Googled how to get something off a glue trap, and it's just canola oil. Canola oil. So I take canola oil, I pour it all over the robin, and voila, it's free in like seconds. And I'm so happy. And I call Luke, Luke, And I'm practically in tears because even though my in-laws are coming in 2 days, and they'll probably have a rat crawl on them in their sleep, at least I saved this bird. And maybe saved isn't the right word, because its wing had a problem and it couldn't fly. It just kind of hopped around the backyard for a few days, smelling like canola oil and eating little kosher worms, and then after a few days it was gone. And I like to think that its wing healed and it flew away and it found love. And that's how I would end the story, because no one wants the end of the story where my father-in-law is sitting at the kitchen table and says, "Oh my God, there's a rat eating a robin!"